Hey everyone, we end the week with more Thanksgiving. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His steadfast love endures forever. Out of my distress I called on the Lord. The Lord answered me and set me in a broad place. With the Lord on my side, I do not fear. What can mortals do to me? I thank you because you have answered me. You have become my salvation. The stone that the builders rejected has become the chief cornerstone. This is the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Save us, we ask you, O Lord. O Lord, we ask you, give us success. Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord. Now, traditionally, this is actually more of an Easter psalm, not an Advent or Christmas. This is the psalm that the crowds are quoting when Jesus comes into Jerusalem in the triumphal entry. And there's verses in here about, waving palm branches and these sort of things. And this idea of the stone that is rejected becoming the cornerstone became very central in the early church to referring to the death and resurrection of Jesus. And so we can read this psalm as thanks for that salvation that comes through him. But aren't all of those ideas kind of present in Christmas too? Just like they didn't expect a crucified Messiah, well, they didn't expect one to show up in a feeding trough, a manger, either. Most would have rejected, and did reject a humble peasant from Galilee born to a morally suspect mother. And so I think this kind of points to the idea that some talk about how the Incarnation is actually already kind of salvation, because Christ, God taking on flesh, is an act of self-emptying love, just like is displayed on the cross. The Incarnation is God stepping into our mess, into our sin, instead of being repulsed by it, and taking it into himself. The Incarnation demonstrates that our humanness is actually holy. It's not shameful. It just needs to be healed. And if God could enter into it, doesn't that mean that healing is already happening? God didn't come into the world as some sort of plan B. We messed everything up and now he's got to sort it out and come down here. God's greatest desire has always been to draw near, no matter the cost. And so we're always asking for God's help, and yet we always seem to be surprised at how it happens and where God shows up. It's the same Christ in the manger and on the cross, and that is what we give thanks for. That is where we see salvation.